So I see like Bill Haney, he's talking about oh, he's happy to see Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather get money together. I seen a little bit of Bruce MF Vane's video about Mike Coppinger hating on Tyson and Mayweather, and their whole thing is the brothers are getting money together. Yeah, why they hating the brothers getting money together. And yeah, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Floyd should probably have fought Roy Jones, with the little banner going back and forth. Um, but I don't really look at it that way. I'm happy they get money together, but let's talk about it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I don't really look at it that way. I look at it from the standpoint of they trying to overshadow Crawford and Canelo with this announcement. They could have waited. They could have legitimately waited until after Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis to announce this fight. So I get that the brother's trying to stay on code and all that, but I can't stay on code when I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. That Floyd tried to upstage the Terrence Crawford fight. That's just not on code. And I don't see a lot of people talking about it. That's just not on code. A guy that was very respectful to him, and it's just a machine trying to stop Bud. And people forget at that point, Floyd, he's with Al Heyman. Al Heyman don't want to see Terrence Crawford be prosperous. I mean, that's why they put the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford the same day as their UFC fight card. People tend to forget that. And that's why you see these little shots being thrown at Terrence Crawford. And you got to remember, a lot of these people buy bots to engage the negativity and get the engagement and the negativity going up against Bud. You got people saying, "Oh, the undercard is weak," and this. I mean, we done seen 1,000 weak undercards before. The Pacquiao Mayweather undercard was weak. Let's talk about we done seen 1,000 weak undercards before, but now all y'all, complaining about the undercard being weak. If this was Benavidez Canelo, you know what I'm saying? Well, nobody complained about the undercard being weak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all complained about Canelo and Berlanga, and a lot of y'all still watch Canelo and Berlanga. Let's keep it a bean. I think Lester Martinez and Christian Mbili, that's a good scrap. I think legitimately that's a good scrap. I think Vargas, one of the Vargas boys, gonna be the co-main. I don't know why Lester Martinez and Mbili ain't. I think you got, I think Jermaine Franklin on the prelims, Bokachek and Adams rematch. Adams knocked him out in the original fight. That's somewhere on the card. So I mean, like I said, it's the hate to stop Terrence Crawford campaign. And if you historically think about it, who have been the most hated fighters? Like, honestly, what was my man Andrew Galata should be one of the most hated fighters of all time. For all the dirty shit that he did in his career, let's keep it real. Andrew Galata should be one of the most hated fighters of all time. When you think the most hated fighters or the most ridiculed fighters in their career, only one I can really think of that get that hate and ridicule is Rocky Marciano. That's a non-black for real. He's the only one. But Rocky Marciano he'd whoop your ass though. He'll pull up on you though. So Rock was on some real gangster shit, to be honest with you. Rock can pull up on you. That ain't no cap. But really the most ridiculed, I mean, from Jack Johnson, obviously for obvious reasons, we understand why. To Sonny Liston, to him taking a dive, and to Muhammad, Joe Louis, what they did to Joe Louis, and Muhammad Ali. Really, I don't feel like you had a fighter that was beloved universally in their career like they were, and I could be wrong. A lot of people love Muhammad Ali, but a lot of people didn't like him as well too until he started shaking. But I think the first black fighter I can remember, and I could be wrong historically, and Sugar Ray Robinson got a lot of love, but the one that was the crossover was Sugar Ray Leonard. He was universally loved. So when you started to kind of think about like the fighters that most of the most hated fighters have been black, but also some of the top most beloved fighters have been black. So people love Hearns, people love Leonard, people people came, a lot of people didn't like Hagler because a I ain't say I didn't like him, but he had it the hard way. But you know, you want to look at it as the two brothers getting money together. Why announce something a week and some change before Crawford and Canelo fight for the spring of 2026 in an exhibition that may not happen? I don't think it's gonna happen. I could be wrong. Why announce it on, you know, a couple weeks before Tank and Jake Paul? You know, Tank and Jake Paul at least waited the week after, you know, Crawford and Spence. I mean, Crawford and Canelo. I mean, honestly, a lot of people were saying they thought this Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence thing was to try to, I never thought about it this way, was try to drown out Canelo and Crawford. You know, and you'd think Jake Paul would just do the PBC thing and make, if they was going to do 2 press conferences, they might as well have done 3 in Vegas. They might as well have done the press conference with Jake Paul and Tank at the Canelo Crawford week, like PBC do. Then next week you fall into Atlanta. Then next week you fall into Georgia. I think they're going to New York. That's what I would have done it. But you know, maybe they didn't want Mac touching AMs. They wanted to keep it all separate. But I look at it as some hating ass shit. I look at Floyd Mayweather hating on them, his timing and announcing it. And like I said, these exhibitions, I'm telling y'all, a lot of the bad habits in boxing. I heard somebody make a video, we can't blame Floyd for everything. Like, we can blame him for a lot. He's a trendsetter. He was the face of an era. All these guys throwing 1 or 2 punches and trying to be defensive responsible, trying to use the burnt up shoulder roll. I mean, we can go on and on. We can go on and on and on and on and on like Erykah Badu. You know, it's a business. I'm smart. I ain't gonna. He's telling these fighters, don't take the tough route. Drop the belts. You get with Keyshawn, he do some wild shit. Get with Ryan, he do some wild shit. He had a lot to do with it. And niggas tend to forget. He said that black people helped me get. I mean, Mexicans helped me get here. I'm here. He said Mexican. I'm telling y'all, man. I just think the code shouldn't protect no coons, and that's just my opinion, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. If you want to, I want to agree with that. Like, all black people should be under the cool. I mean, that's what you believe. I don't believe in that. But he did this despite Crawford and Tank. I'm telling you, dog. All these bad things he brought to the sport of boxing. Exhibitions was just the next one up. I'm telling y'all, even when you dealing drugs. Remember, Yo Gotti said something very interesting, right? I don't know if he said on the song, you know, but he said if it sounds too good, it must be too good. So, so yeah, man. Now exhibitions is just another one. All these young guys is he's just chasing it. Then, you know, Mayweather a couple years ago came out and a couple years ago came out and said that he was kind of condemning the fighters and talking about, oh, he was trying to say they need to fight more and they need to, fight for legacy more. He created this atmosphere that we in the sport of boxing. He created this atmosphere. He created this atmosphere, bro. And now another trend-setting outside. I mean, Pacquiao Mayweather is the reason everybody marinating fights. You know, that's why everybody doing it. Oh, this is marinating. Let the bag get up this high. And then, you continue on and you talking about Pacquiao. And then you talking about now these exhibitions. Now you got Tank chasing the exhibition. Now you got my active fighters that's going to start chasing the exhibitions for the bag. You had Jake Paul fight MMA fighters and doing exhibitions. Then you had what? Tyson Fury jumped in there and fight Francis Ngannou. So, for me, you can say, oh, it's great to see the brothers, get money together and all that type of stuff. But we know what time it is. We know what time. The real niggas know what Floyd doing, dog. We know what Floyd doing. That's not even fake the funk. We know what Floyd doing. We know what Floyd doing. So, you know, if you want to be naive and not and thinking he ain't trying to overshadow, he's an attention whore. But if the brothers get money together, I mean, yeah. But, you know, I agree with Mike Coppinger. Honestly, I agree with Mike Coppinger. Floyd doing, for the timing of Floyd doing this, I'm telling y'all, man, and Crawford ain't been nothing but respectful to him. But let that be a key thing. You can't respect everybody. Some people that you show respect to and they show disrespect and they play in your face like that. So it just shows it just shows you if you talk Tank, if you talk shit to Floyd like Tank, or if you humble and you respect Floyd like Terrence Crawford do, he a hoe ass nigga either way. And when you dealing with hoe ass niggas, I'd rather be on the side of Tank. You know, I'd rather be on the side of Tank saying he'll hoe ass nigga. But that's just me. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Appreciate the love and support. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine.